Hidden away in the noise of buzzing wings and the smell of decay is a name that people talk about either out of fear or curiosity: Beelzebub. So who is this Beelzebub that slithered his way through the old Philistine gods to Christian exorcism rites and jumped from medieval grimoires to modern horror stuff? So without any delays, gather all the courage and curiosity, maybe seal some of your windows as we explore the origins of Beelzebub, Satan's right hand and the dreaded Lord of Flies. But before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. Who is Beelzebub? What's his story? Beelzebub is a demon in Christian and Jewish mythology known as Lord of the Flies or Prince of Demons. He's often linked to the devil or Satan. In the New Testament, the Bible mentions him as one of the main demons who serve Satan. Before he was associated with Satan or Lucifer, Beelzebub was known as Beelzebub, a god of fertility and prosperity worshipped by the Canaanites, an ancient people in what is now the Middle East. His name means Lord of the House or dwelling, and he was linked to Baal, the chief god of the Canaanites. People in the Philistine city of Ekron built a temple for him and consulted his oracle. The Canaanites offered him animal and child sacrifices to gain his favor and protection. Beelzebub was viewed as the god of life. He made the earth fertile, granted good harvests, blessed livestock, and ensured that people had children. He was also the god of war, granting victory and protecting people from enemies. He punished rebels and demanded loyalty. The Philistines considered him their supreme god, and other neighboring peoples acknowledged this too. However, with the rise of Jewish monotheism, Beelzebub became known as a false god and an enemy of Yahweh, the God of Israel. Over time, his image changed and turned into a symbol of evil. Beelzebub in various religious and occult mythologies. Since there are several interpretations of Beelzebub in various religious and occult mythologies, let's go through them one by one. Mentioned in Hebrew scriptures. Originally worshipped as a Philistine deity in the ancient city of Ekron, Baal-zebul, not Beelzebub, is mentioned in the Old Testament's 2 Kings 1-3. In this story, King Ahaziah of Israel falls from a window in his upstairs room in Samaria. He sends messengers to ask about Baal-zebul to learn if he will recover from the injury. Elijah, a prophet and miracle worker in northern Israel, tells Ahaziah that he will die because he sought advice from Baal-zebul instead of turning to God. Elijah believed that seeking answers from a foreign god is an abomination. This reference in the Bible is the only place where Beelzebub is mentioned directly. Hebrew scribes were hostile to pagan worship, which is why they may have turned Beelzebul, Lord of the High Place, into the mocking Beelzebub, Lord of the Flies, aligning him with decay, rot, and impurity, the beginning of his demonization. Mention in the Testament of Solomon. Dating back to the 1st to 3rd century, in the Testament of Solomon, Beelzebul, not Beelzebub, is called the Prince of Demons. He says he was once a high-ranking angel in heaven and is linked to the Hesperus star, which in Greek stands for the planet Venus, the evening star. Beelzebub seems to be another name for Lucifer. He claims to cause destruction through tyrants, encourage the worship of demons by people, push priests towards lust, create jealousy in cities, lead to murders, and start wars. The Testament of Solomon is an Old Testament pseudepigraphical work, which means it's a writing not directly from the Bible, but attributed to King Solomon. The author mainly describes the demons he controlled to help build Solomon's temple, with many added Christian ideas. Mention of Beelzebub in Christian traditions. In the New Testament, Beelzebub is another name for Satan or a high-ranking demon. In Matthew 12:24, when Jesus casts out demons, the Pharisees say he does this by the power of Beelzebub, the prince of demons. This verse is important because it connects Beelzebub directly to Satan's power in Christian beliefs. As Christian beliefs evolved, they developed intricate hierarchies for both angels and demons. Beelzebub ended up with a pretty high-ranking position, being considered second only to Lucifer, the top demon, who manages the infernal legions. He's also part of the unholy trinity alongside Lucifer and Leviathan. After Christ, when Christianity took over as the main religion in the Roman Empire, Christians started seeing Beelzebub as an evil figure, linking him to Satan. He is said to have the power to fly and could control flies, which became his symbol during plagues in the 1st century. In 1613, Sebastian Michaelis classified him under the sin of pride, while Peter Binsfield's classification publication from 1589 connected him to gluttony. Besides that, in some beliefs, he's also tied to the sins of lust, greed, envy, and anger. In the magical books of the Dictionnaire Infernal and the Pseudo-Monarchia Daemonum, Beelzebub is depicted as a bizarre, fly-like creature who leads a whole pack of demons. He's often called the Lord High Chancellor of Hell, serving as the chief of staff under Satan, and he's known as the Lord of Filth and Disease. The Dictionnaire Infernal says that Beelzebub is the demon behind debauchery, filth, and pride, and people invoke him during black masses to tempt and corrupt others. Mentions in Jewish texts. Beelzebub appears in Jewish literature, particularly in the Talmud, where he's known as a strong demon and the leader of evil spirits. He's also mentioned in the Jewish book of demonology, the Sefer HaRazim. This book, which comes from the early years of the Common Era, includes magical texts and spells meant to protect people from demons and other harmful supernatural beings. Sefer HaRazim later influenced medieval grimoires like the Lesser Key of Solomon, also known as the Lemegeton. Beelzebub's symbolic association with flies. So we've been talking about Beelzebub as the Lord of the Flies a lot. You might be wondering, why flies? Is there a deeper meaning? Well, sorta. In many ancient cultures, flies represented death, sickness, and decay. So when we link Beelzebub to flies, it's more about representing moral decay, spiritual corruption, and the constant reminder of sin. This whole thing gets even deeper when you look at it through a Christian allegory lens. What do I mean? Well, just like flies swarm around a dead animal, Beelzebub is said to hang around spiritually lifeless or corrupt souls, attracted to their filth. In stories about exorcisms and folklore, his presence shows up with sudden infestations, nasty smells, and hallucinations that involve creepy crawlies or insects. You know, this kind of reminds me of the 2005 movie with Keanu Reeves as John Constantine, where he finds his buddy Beeman dead and swarmed by flies. Not that it really matters right now, or does it? But we're definitely going a bit off track here. Beelzebub in literature and pop culture. Milton's Paradise Lost, 1667. In Milton's Paradise Lost, Beelzebub is a significant fallen angel, primarily known as Satan's second-in-command and a key figure in the council in hell. He's depicted as a cunning, eloquent diplomat who proposes exploring the newly created Earth, showcasing his understanding of strategy and political maneuvering. He's one of the first angels Satan addresses after their fall and is his closest advisor. After the fall, Satan confidently claims he won't back down, but Beelzebub is more careful, admitting that their defeat shows how powerful God really is and that he regrets rebelling. As they talk about their situation, though, he starts to get on board with Satan's plan for revenge against God by going after his creations. At the meeting of the fallen angels, many step up to share their ideas on what to do next, but Beelzebub really nails it with his argument. Acting as a spokesperson for Satan, he dives deeper into Satan's earlier suggestion. He reminds the other fallen angels about God's new plan, creating humans, and suggests that they focus on corrupting them and dragging them down to hell. This way, they could really hurt God by destroying his prized creation. In his speech, Beelzebub shows off his smarts, proving he's sharper than the other fallen angels, which solidifies his role as Satan's right-hand man. Some believe that this portrayal cements him as a cosmic strategist, not just a monster, but others see him just repeating Satan's original idea, so he loses some of his unique qualities and becomes more of a messenger for Satan, similar to how Michael is for God. William Golding's Lord of the Flies, 1954. William Golding called his novel Lord of the Flies to refer to the biblical story of Beelzebub. The story revolves around a group of British schoolboys who are stranded on a deserted island after a plane crash. As they try to survive, they form their own tribe and create their own rules. The boys, who were once civilized and educated, gradually turn to savagery and violence as they lose touch with societal norms and become more animalistic. The title Lord of the Flies represents the power of the boys' primal instincts, which leads them to violent acts and tragedy. It also highlights the novel's main theme, which is the evil within human nature, the danger of mob mentality, and the breakdown of civilization. Golding uses Beelzebub's name to symbolize the evil and corruption that take over the boys. It shows that, instead of staying civilized, the boys are becoming more demonic and losing their humanity as they give in to their primal instincts. Beelzebub in other media. The 1973 film The Exorcist does not name Beelzebub as the main demon. However, there are hints that connect him to the overall demonic presence. Some people believe that the demon that possesses Regan McNeil is Beelzebub, while others say it's Pazuzu, a real ancient Mesopotamian wind demon. Now, some say Regan was possessed by Beelzebub because her possession included foul smells, insects, rotting odors, and moral decline, which are clear signs that align with the traditional influence of Beelzebub. In the Diablo video game series by Blizzard Entertainment, Beelzebub is one of the 7 evils. He plays an important role in the game's dark demon lore, but is not named directly. The Diablo universe takes inspiration from real-world myths and gives them their own twist. Beelzebub's characteristics and symbolism are reimagined as Belial, but his main traits, manipulation, corruption, and decay, stay the same. Appearance of Beelzebub. Over the years, Beelzebub has shown up in different forms and has gone by various names, depending on the culture and the time period. However, in the Middle Ages, Beelzebub became a big deal in Christian demonology. He was often shown as a demon with an ox's head, bat wings, and a scorpion's tail. Otherwise, in the 1863 Dictionnaire Infernal, Beelzebub is portrayed as a massive, demonical fly, and the wings have a skull and crossbones design, which is very similar to a hornet, if you think about it. This art by Louis Le Breton really captures his name, which means Lord of the Flies or Lord of the Exalted Abode. Personality of Beelzebub. Beelzebub is often seen as Lucifer's go-to guy. There's a good reason for that. He's super smart and cunning, mainly because he stays cool, calm, and collected. He knows how to handle one tough situation after another without losing his cool or his upper hand. Beelzebub may appear submissive and passive, but this is merely a facade, designed to manipulate others skillfully. His intelligence stands out so much that he's the only one Lucifer listens to among the noisy debates in Pandemonium. Lucifer believes that Beelzebub, while powerful, values logic and cleverness more than brute strength. Unlike several other demon kings, Beelzebub knows that ruling hell through force won't last. His careful and calculating nature is impressive because he runs the best spy network in hell, known as the Order of the Fly. Even though he often acts subservient, Beelzebub's power, ruthlessness, and sharp mind make him formidable. Beelzebub strongly hates heaven, but is mischievous enough to create conflicts among other demon lords. By doing this, he aims to weaken his rivals and create a power vacuum in the demonic realm. For instance, he teamed up with Mundus to get rid of Belial, but he only did it because it fit into Lucifer's plan for the New World Order. Abilities of Beelzebub. Beelzebub is different from more destructive demons like Asmodeus or Baal. He works in the world of corruption, decay, illusion, and influence. His powers are subtle and sneaky, which makes him even scarier. He has the ability to corrupt the minds, spirits, and morality of humans, like twisting their thoughts, values, and allegiances. He's often seen as a tempter who encourages feelings of pride, gluttony, or envy, especially in those with spiritual authority, because he despises them. No one knows why. I think he just enjoys the chaos such heretical behavior incites. Beelzebub, known as the Lord of the Flies, has control over flies that he can use to keep an eye on everyone in hell. This gives him the edge to figure out his moves long before the others start making their plans. He is definitely a step ahead of everyone else. Since Beelzebub is the second in command right after Lucifer, it's safe to say he's pretty powerful. He even took down the angel Gabriel and has the smarts to lead his crew. Instead of going after a pointless war, he thought it'd be better to hit where it really hurts, God's creation, which is humans on Earth. Marvelous verdict. And there you have it. Everything we found out about Beelzebub in today's marvelous video. Whether he's a demon, a fallen god, or just Satan's right-hand guy, Beelzebub has been a big player in demon lore for ages. And when you hear that buzzing sound, it might just be him, lurking around and ready to pull some strings. I'm kidding, or maybe I'm not. But jokes aside, before we wrap up the video, we want to hear what you think. If we overlooked anything, do let us know in the comment section below. Until next time, keep your minds sharp, stay on your guard, and watch out for those buzzing wings around in the dark. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks, everyone.